Hey YouTubes, I just came out from a viewing of Star Trek Beyond, which premiered here in Sweden today on Wednesday, and I've got to say I am very positively surprised. This movie is Star Trek, finally. J.J. Abrams managed to produce two Star Trek movies that weren't really Star Trek, but where J.J. failed, Justin Lin did it. And I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. If it's the spirit of exploration, or the way that other alien species are woven into it, or the positivity of the Federation and the attitudes that they have towards life and universe. I can't put my finger on exactly what it is, but this movie just worked. It works.
Well, that's just typical. Let's hope this doesn't get messy.
This is where it begins, Captain. This is where the frontier pushes back.
What the hell is this?
I know why you're here. Why we are all here.
The trailers do not do it justice. The trailers make it seem like any other action movie, and even though the movie is action-packed from beginning to end, I mean, you have maybe 20 minutes of intro, and then it's just bam, 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 action all the way through. There are still moments of respite, moments of pause, and moments of reflection for every single character in many ways. And that is wonderful, because I don't feel that the J.J. Abrams movies did that either. They gave us a couple of character moments here and there, but they never quite got close to the characters. They scratched the surface. Here, every single character goes through their own emotional arcs, and they all go through their own struggles and so on. The two new characters introduced in this movie are Jayla, played by Sofia Boutella, and Krall, played by Idris Elba. Now, both of these characters are very cleverly written, and you get more backstory, and you get to empathize with them, even though some traits for some people might not be what you want. I'm trying to avoid spoilers here. Not easy. Jayla's character, for example, you find her on an alien planet, and the reason she's there is very touching, and the way that she interacts with the crew, especially Scotty, is amazing. And if they make a sequel to this, I hope she's in it, because they kind of leave that open at the end.
Now, that's Starfleet property, okay? Can I just take it? But I'm feeling generous today, so I'll have at it.
Krall, played by Idris Elba, is a very interesting villain. He's not the kind of villain that we saw in the first two Star Trek movies, the J.J. Abrams movies. He's a very different kind of villain. Sure, people might say that he has some similarities with Khan from the second movie, and I see what they mean, but he is a completely different kind of villain. And a villain that you kind of understand why he does what he does, although you can't really agree with his methods. I thought the alien species that he belongs to is very clever. It's something that we haven't quite seen in Star Trek, although there are some similarities with, for example, the Tholians in the original series and so on. Again, just a brand new way of doing things that I really liked. The movie also manages to do something that touched me in a very deep way. They pay tribute to Leonard Nimoy in a way that is both touching and fitting in so many ways. When they talk about the character of Spock, you sometimes forget that they're not talking about Spock the character, because it sounds like they're talking about Leonard Nimoy. And at the end of the credits, it says that the movie is dedicated to the memory of Leonard Nimoy, and then the screen goes black and it just says, "For Anton," which was a lovely touch. Absolutely very, very touching.
No response. I am picking up some kind of signal. You're jamming us.
Magnify, Mr. Sulu. What is this? Shields up! Ready!
This is not a deep movie. This is not a movie that challenges your philosophical perspectives on life, nor is it a movie that touches you to the core and leaves you wondering about life, universe, and everything. This is, from beginning to end, a fun movie. It's special effects heavy. The character dialogue is very witty, and the back and forth is very clever at times. I love the way that the movie splits the team up into separate pairings. Spock and Bones is the obvious pairing in one team, but then you have Kirk and Chekhov, which is a team, or a pairing rather, that you don't really see all that often. You have Sulu and Uhura, which again is a pairing that you don't see very often. And then Scotty's left all by himself, of course. Poor Scotty.
He is Crawl. He is the reason why you're here. Come with me. Now.
Wait, now hang on a minute, lassie. I'm having a difficult day here. I've got to find my crewmates.
You help me, and I help you.
All right, well, things being as they are, I doubt I'll get a better offer today, so lead the way.
Good.
It is a fun movie, though. It doesn't have to be challenging in many ways. The original series and The Next Generation, and definitely Deep Space Nine, were often challenging because they started asking questions about what it is to be human. They asked us what it is to be good, what it is to be bad, and they did things in their narrative that science fiction doesn't do very well anymore. Philip K. Dick once said that science fiction is just taking the world as it is and changing one thing. Star Trek went beyond that. They took the world as it is and extrapolated what would happen if all the best choices were made between now and the year 2300. If every single choice that we make as a species is the best possible choice, where would we end up? It's a bright, beautiful, ambitious future, and one that I would love to live in. And this movie just puts us there, and it doesn't ask us questions about it, but I don't feel like it has to. It's not that kind of movie. It's a movie that it's there to entertain us. And although it might be uneven at times, and although there are several things in this movie where we're left to more than just chance to have people survive and it's luck this, luck there, luck that, it still works. And I'm gonna go see it again within the next couple of days because I just want to go on this roller coaster again. I looked down at my Fitbit while I was watching the movie twice, and my resting heartbeat was in the mid-90s. And that just goes to show what a roller coaster this movie actually is. It's a movie that just grips you and pulls you along for the ride, and I loved it. If I were to give this movie a rating from 1 to 10, I'd say a solid 9. And that's not just the recency effect, because I literally came out from the cinema about 30 minutes ago. And most of that time has been spent recording this and reshooting a couple of these scenes and setting up the lighting. But yeah, it's a solid 9. It's an entertaining romp through and through, and I love it. I hope that if they make a fourth movie, they hand it back to Justin Lin, because, again, even though he didn't delve into the philosophy that is Star Trek and the depth that can be Star Trek, he captured the spirit somehow. He captured the essence of Star Trek, the ambitious, beautiful future, and humanity's quest to retain it and constantly go beyond our limitations and go beyond what we think is possible. And that's probably where the title of the movie comes from. Star Trek Beyond. Again, a solid 9 out of 10. I loved it.